We're going to go over the top 10 most important skills for a product manager, starting right now. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here, you want to learn about product management, business, and finance, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. This video is going to be a little bit longer than my usual ones, but that's going to allow us to get some depth into this very important topic. We're going to be talking about the top 10 most important skills or qualities of a product manager. We're going to start from the top, so make sure you watch the entire video to the end to get the most important ones. Let's get started. Number 10, collaboration. The ability to work together, the ability and the desire to work together with other individuals and groups of people that may have opinions entirely different than your own. As a product manager, you need to be able to work together with groups of people and individuals in various parts of the business. You need to be able to work with engineers, with UX designers, with research analysts, with business analysts, with data scientists, with salespeople, marketing folks. There are so many people and responsibilities that are involved in order to bring a modern day product to life. And you need to collaborate with all of them to make it happen. Product manager is not a lone wolf that is able to make key decisions and then move on. The product manager is the one that's supposed to be the glue that keeps the entire organization together and keeps the different groups and people together in order to execute on a vision or in order to build a product. That means understanding others, understanding the different objectives for a person or a group of people or an organization or an organizational group, and being able to collaborate meaningfully with them, align everybody around the same goal, and keep things moving forward. Number 9, the interest in user experience design, UX design, or tinkering. You need to cultivate a love for understanding how users, customers interact with different products, physical products, software products, mobile, web, all kinds of products. The way that the users interact with them, being able to sit down and analyze what the user journey, what the full user experience is for a particular product for different groups of people, different segments, is going to be very, very powerful skill to have for a product manager. And so you need to cultivate the interest and the desire to be tinkering with the funnels, with the flows, with the various design elements, and see what the user or customer responds to, what could be improved, what could be removed. There's quite a lot of tinkering that goes on in a product manager's role. And those that have the attention to detail and enjoy tinkering with the user experience design and getting into the details of the user experience usually do a lot better. Number 8 is an interest in tech in general, interest in technology, an interest in new ways to solve old problems and in innovative ways to solve new problems. That means a successful product manager is going to be someone who is up to date with what's happening in the world of technology, knows which companies are developing what new interesting horizons lie in the years ahead, and most importantly, how this technological shifts and how current technologies and the technologies of the future are going to impact consumer behavior, customer tastes, user preferences. And so a product manager that does not know what's going on in the world of tech and is not interested in all the various gadgets, hardware and software, and also physical products and services in general in the world is not going to do very well in modern day product management. You need to have that interest in tech and also a healthy dose of optimism about tomorrow. This one probably deserves its own category. For now, we're going to include it in the interest in technology. That also means understanding how things work. What are the components that put together your favorite technologies? How does the internet work? How do mobile phones work? Why is Elon Musk launching satellites that are going to blot out the sky? And how is all that going to work? Having an interest in that, reading analyses of the different technologies that are available now, coming soon, and the different business perspectives and the business investments and developments throughout the world will make for a much more effective product manager, because you'll be able to apply your knowledge, your insights into the product that you're working on or anticipate how user tastes might change in the coming years. Number 7 is the ability to stay calm in difficult situations. This is important because the rest of the cross-functional team tends to look to the product manager to provide a sense of stability and confidence about the direction of the overall product. If there's a particularly thorny issue, if there is a political issue within the company that we're dealing with, or if there's just ambiguity all around, we don't know what is going on, how do these things interact with one another, should we do product A or product B, how do we compare apples and oranges, how do we deal with this latest customer problem or this bug that came up unexpectedly, or this inconsistency in the goals that our organization has and our sister organization has. The product manager has to be the anchor that stays calm, asks why, tries to find meaning in these situations, and tries to navigate the entire cross-functional group out of the seas of ambiguity. And there's going to be plenty of ambiguity all over the place. Modern product management assumes everything is going to be 80% ambiguous, which means 80% of the things that you're going to be working with will not make too much sense at first glance, sometimes at second glance. And so the ability to stay calm in those situations and be able to reorient everyone around you and act as the anchor, the bastion, is going to make you extremely effective as a product manager. A secondary piece of this, which again could be a standalone, but we're going to just include it with this one, is the ability to listen. You should listen and try to hear what everybody around you is saying. So the ability to actually listen and pay attention to people's points of view, the reasons why they're saying what they're saying. Usually at top tech companies, everybody's going to be a high performer. So it's very important to listen to every voice to make sure you're not missing something. And by the way, listening is also a very important interview skill. And if you want to learn the top tips for passing the product manager interview, check out this video to learn some more about top things you can do for a product manager interview. Counting down, number 6. Data analysis and statistics. Love for numbers, the ability to look for meaning behind sets of numbers, an analytical mindset. A basic knowledge of statistics is going to be critical for any product manager as you develop a more serious product at scale. So make sure you learn the basics of statistics. You can watch great videos here on YouTube, pick up the basics, practice, make sure you understand it, and put it to use when you're developing your products. Develop a love for analyzing your user's experience. How do they use the products? How frequent? How much? How do the different segments, different user groups use the product differently? When you run experiments and you're enabling a certain feature, you want to see the effect it has on the rest of your metrics. It's very important to understand statistical models to be able to make inferences out of the information that you have. If you are a product manager that understands statistics, feels comfortable with numbers and making sense of the world through data, that is going to be absolutely pivotal to your career as a product manager. Not being able to set up experiments correctly, not understanding what a piece of data or sets of data means could spell disaster for the direction that you take the product. Now we're in the top 5 skills of a product manager. Number 5, business sense and a little bit of common sense. Business sense meaning understanding how business functions in general, understanding basic economics, understanding the basic tenets of macroeconomics, understand behavioral economics, understand the business cycle, the components that go into business. Of course, running or co-founding a business and actually taking it through the product development and sales cycle and marketing cycle is extremely important because you get that knowledge hands-on. You experience the entire funnel of what it's like to think up a product, try to build it, produce it, bring it to market, try to sell it, acquire users for it, then help those users engage with the product in a more meaningful way, then try to solve for the monetization piece, make sure you're profitable in terms of your unit economics and the way you're approaching short-term and long-term planning. Understanding basic business principles, extremely important, because one of the key areas of responsibility for a product manager is driving the business forward in order to succeed. Let's put it this way. The product manager assists a huge group put together a product, launch it, market it, and make it a success. But whether or not a product is ultimately a success or not, that's the product manager's responsibility. So it's extremely important to understand business concepts and put them to use. Of course, your product has to solve a basic user problem, but you have to approach it in the right way, present it in the right way, market it in the right way, ultimately monetize it in the right way. And if you don't have the business fundamentals and know-how, it's going to make your job very, very difficult. That is why a lot of product managers actually begin their career out of MBA. And while that's not necessarily a hard requirement, it's definitely helpful for those folks that don't have startup background and don't have a lot of experience building a company from scratch or helping to build a company from scratch. Number 4. We're down to the top 4. Number 4 is empathy. Have empathy for your users. Try to understand what they're going through, what they're thinking about when they are interacting with your product. Ultimately, the product manager's responsibility is to understand what the user is going through, what problems the user has, and why they have chosen your product to be the solution, or why they have not chosen your product to be the solution. Try to understand on a deeper level what they're going through. Try to put yourself in their shoes. This is definitely mentioned very often for top product manager skills, and I couldn't agree more. As an effective product manager, always ask what the users are going through and how can you understand them better. But don't stop at the users. What are your suppliers going through? What are your partners going through? What are your team members going through? Product manager needs to show empathy at every stage of development and every piece of the production process. Number 3, organization. A product manager is only as effective as they are organized. Unfortunately, the product manager is the one that's trying to juggle all of these different priorities at the same time, and they are the ones that are left holding the threads, and they are the ones that have to follow up on them. They have to make sure that people do what they're supposed to do. Approvals are received, documents are written, updated, commented, people are brought together, aligned, goals are set, and everything is functioning like a well-oiled machine. And if the product manager is not paying attention to that, then everything's gonna slip. And the product manager, as the person who's ultimately responsible for the success or failure of a product, has to be organizationally up to par, keeping track of everything, knowing when to follow up with whom and for what purpose. By the way, in terms of business sense, business strategy questions are very common in product manager interviews, and you definitely need to have an understanding of business and finance in order to get through them. I've got a video you should check out about how to answer business strategy questions during an interview. I think you'll find it helpful. Number 2, we're down to the top 2 skills now. Number 2 is prioritization. The ability to prioritize everything that is going on in the product and its vicinity. That means prioritize your time effectively. That means prioritize your team members' time effectively. That means prioritize the features that are going into development effectively. Make sure you always know what you're optimizing for. At every moment, try to focus on the 80-20. 20% of your efforts will result in 80% of your results. You can find this, the Pareto principle, you can find it everywhere in life, in business, and certainly in product management. The top product managers know when to say no and know what to prioritize above everything else. And also they know how to make a foundation for why they came to that conclusion. Concisely explain what your prioritization schema is so that your teammates or your customers or the people that are financing your project can come along with you and understand that you're targeting impact, you're targeting results, and you're going to ruthlessly prioritize to make that happen. And the number 1 skill for product managers is communication, effective communication. This is by far the most important attribute that a product manager can learn and focus on. Effective communication is going to mean the difference between success or failure of any product or really any project out there. A product manager that is an effective communicator can bring different groups of people or individuals together in order to accomplish something, in order to drive the product forward, or in order to release or launch a project. An effective communicator is going to understand who they're speaking with at any given moment and understand what their goals and concerns are and address them in the right way for that type of personality. It's extremely important. It goes hand in hand with empathy, but ultimately, product managers must be able to communicate effectively. That means you must find a common language with anyone you're speaking with, whether you're trying to get someone to align with your organization on the key goals, or you're trying to debate the priority of a particular feature, or you're trying to market something to your potential customers, or you're helping defend your entire product to senior stakeholders or to investors. Communication is going to be the key. And those that are effective communicators also are able to network far greater and increase their capacity to produce. I hope you found this useful. If you want to know more about product management, business, and finance, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything, and of course, smash the like button. I'm also starting a newsletter. Make sure to sign up for that below. And let me know down in the comments what questions you have, what topics you want me to tackle next. And if you're looking to break into the product management career, please check out this video. It has a lot of helpful tips on how you can get that started. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.